The Lolo Body Bar by Barmaids is an addictive and oh so decadent head-to-toe moisturizer made with all natural skin-loving butters and oils. This amazing bar is most definitely one item that belongs in every fiber artist's stash. Working with yarns and fibers can be so rewarding even while it steals your moisture and leaves you raw. Lolo by Barmaids is luxurious, creamy, smooth, and so good for your skin. It's easy to use, and there's never any leftover residue that could destroy your latest masterpiece. Protect and soothe your capable, beautiful, creative hands. Trust me, just try the Lolo Bar. The results speak for themselves.
Hi, my name is Tina, and welcome to Knitting Blooms. Today is episode 49, and it is March 31st. And I have a guest star, who is my very nutty husband. I always joke with him about having hair and makeup before the podcast, going into hair and makeup before the podcast, and he's always joking about having to hire security for when I'm on location. He's doing a pretty good job of keeping a straight face. He told me, I'm going to keep a straight face the whole time. I don't know if he's going to talk, so we're just going to go on with the show. I want to start by thanking Jasmine for her generous donation to the podcast. It is totally not necessary, but very much appreciated when I get a donation to the podcast. I did, I think before when I switched over to the new blog, I said I wasn't going to put that donation button back on the new blog. However, a couple people asked for it, so I decided to go ahead and put it back up there. If you want to donate, that's fine. If you don't, that's fine too. So thank you, Jasmine, for your donation. Let's see. Okay, so April and May Cal is going to start tomorrow. We have all the prizes, or all the projects picked, and they are on the thread, the chatter thread. At the very top of that thread, you will see the patterns that have been selected for the April-May knit-along. There's 2 shawls and 2 socks, one pay pattern and one a free pattern, so there's lots to choose from over there. I will be using this yarn, which is what almost everybody chose. I think it was like 33 to 10 people who voted. So I am going to go ahead and use this yarn for the, I forget how to pronounce it. You know, that one, the paid pattern. So that's starting.
34, ma'am. I like it too.
So that's starting tomorrow. I want to mention the fact that May will be my podiversary. And I mention it now because I'm going to be gone for a week and a half in April. And I want to go ahead and put up the threads in the group because because it's not only my podiversary, but it's also my birthday month. So there's going to be lots of prizes in May. And what I'm going to do, like many of the other podcasters have done, they've put up threads in their group that you have to answer specific questions, and then you get entered into that prize drawing. Crystal. So I'm going to put those threads up before I leave for Knitopia. They probably won't go up until either the end of this week or the beginning of the following week. So I will mention it again before I leave for Knitopia. But I did want to mention that so you have a good bit of time to post in each of those threads. I didn't want to just kind of throw them up there. There will probably be 1 to 2 prizes per thread. I haven't determined all the prizes yet, but there will be lots and lots of prizes. And all the cats are down here.
Potential security threat. Miniature tigers. I'll keep an eye out on them.
So that's what's coming up in May as well. Okay, let's talk about the featured designer this month. Excuse me. I don't have my coffee today. The featured designer this it's not really going to be. It's for the 2 weeks because I'm going to do a 2-week featured designer. And the featured designer for the next 2 weeks. Oh, that's interesting. I'm doing some testing on my computer with the video, so the screensaver just went on, so I don't know what's going on over there. I'm not going to worry about it. Anyway, for the next 2 weeks, the featured designer is Kimberly, and she actually gifted me this pattern, her pattern, Blue Ivy, and with the light, I have a little farther to go, and that's a shawl pattern, and she has other patterns as well. She has a couple of different cowls, and some colorwork hats, some socks, another kind of shawl, some baby doll socks, scarf, fingerless mitts, and some doll mittens. So there is a quick look at her patterns. So her name is Kimberly. She also does the Giving Flower podcast. And so yeah. Okay, hang on. Cody, please don't do that. So that is our featured designer. So I'm going to be posting.
Time for it.
Cody's playing with a bag over there. So I'm going to be posting a thread because Kimberly has generously donated a pattern for a viewer. So I will be putting a thread up so that you can enter to win a pattern from Kimberly. And I will also be gifting a pattern as well. So there will be 2 prizes again for the designer, the featured designer this for 2 weeks. So the drawing, technically the drawing would be held on April 14th. But because of Knittopia, I'm going to be at Knittopia, so I'm not exactly sure. I know that I'm not going to do a normal podcast, but I'm not exactly sure what kind of podcast I'm going to be able to get out there, because I will only have public Wi-Fi that I can run down the street to while I'm there. And so I'm not exactly sure what kind of internet I'm going to have, but I will draw for the winner either the 14th or the 15th, and then whenever I do another podcast, I will announce the winner on that. So again, Kimberly is the featured designer for the next couple of weeks, and I'm real excited about her Blue Ivy shawl. That is really nice. There's a picture of that, and I'm trying not to get a reflection of the computer screen in there. So there you go, featured designer. And let's go ahead and talk about Barmaids. And I will announce the winner of this week's Barmaids drawing. Again, if you haven't gone to the barmaids.com, it's actually bar-maids.com, and ordered some products, you must do that, because I'm telling you, you will love this product. Try it once. Order 1 bar for $14.95 or whatever it is, and try it. You're gonna fall in love. It's $14 or $15 for that matter. You are gonna love it, so just try it if you haven't already done so. The winner for this week was number 21, and that was Sharon 160 from Gardnerville, Nevada.
Correct, ma'am.
He was my witness that I didn't try and cheat. So congratulations Sharon 160. I didn't look to see if I'm guessing Sharon is your name. But congratulations, you're the winner of $15 off your order for barmaids.com. bar-maids.com. So get in contact with me and I will get you your coupon code. Oh my gosh, we're only 9 minutes in. I'm flying through this. Maybe I should have him on the show all the time. I'm not rambling very much, apparently. Okay, so let's start talking about my projects. I kind of have a different setup today because of my special guest star. Oh, that's what I forgot to write on here. I have to write something before I forget. Okay, so let's talk about spinning. I did finish the first 4 ounces of the Giggle Jelly Merino and Silk. And here's my bobbin. It's not completely full. There's still some space in there that I could have gotten more on there. But because I'm doing a traditional 3-ply, I wanted to go ahead and have each bump be a separate bobbin so that I can just 3-ply it right from there. Now, if I was Navajo plying it, I probably would have tried to put as much on the bobbin as I possibly could, but I didn't need to do that. So I have not yet started the second third. Let me see if I can get without trying to open it up. This is the second third that I will be starting soon. I'm not sure exactly when I will start that because I still have knitting for hire to do. Today is March 31st. I was supposed to have all my knitting for hire completed by the end of the month. That was my goal. That didn't happen. In fact, on Thursday, I was thinking that my knitting progress this week was going to be a complete fail because as of Thursday, I had very little progress on any of my projects, let alone any finished objects. So that all changed Thursday, but we'll get to that in a little bit. So I'm working on this. I'm spinning this on the Ladybug and using my woolly winder. But I finally have an e-spinner. Here, we can just unplug that. Sorry about that. I have an e-spinner. My husband is a genius because he built this for me. It's the Hanson's e-spinner, right? That you kind of got some information from. Hanson's, the Hanson e-spinner, the guy who does it, has a lot of information on his site. And my husband decided he was going to build it for me. And so he got a lot of his knowledge about what parts to use and what to do and how to build it from reading the information on that site. It was a lot of trial and error. He ordered things from where? China?
Correct, ma'am.
From China. Different circuit boards or something. And I don't know how many motors he has bought. How many motors did you buy?
3, ma'am.
3, that's it?
Correct.
Even the 9,000 RPM one?
Correct.
Okay, so he bought three different motors. Which one is this one? This is the second one?
That's the original, ma'am.
Oh, this is the original. Okay. So we've gone through, we've had a couple of different ones of different motors. He actually blew out one of the circuit boards that he got from China. How did that happen? It was miswired or something?
Stupidity, ma'am.
So it was miswired or something like that. And so yeah, I think he's put a lot of time and a lot of just trying different things to try and work this out. He actually has a new pulley. He actually made the pulley here. He made it with his. Did you do that with your lathe?
Correct, ma'am.
He made it with his lathe. But he has another pulley that I think he wants to try on there, right?
Correct, ma'am.
And then what we did for the drive band, we just got the drive band that goes on the Ladybug that he just cut to the right size and then heated, and you join
Fuse
it back.
together, ma'am.
Yeah, join it back together. So as you can see, I have spun a little bit on there, not too much, but I was amazed. I think this was probably a half an ounce to an ounce of fiber. And I spun this up in probably about an hour and a half. Cody. So I definitely can see that I will be using this for if I want to do production spinning. Now, what I did notice was that when I was spinning this particular fiber, I wasn't trying specifically to get a specific gauge. I was just testing out the spinner. So I think that was one reason why I was able to go so quickly with it. But the fiber that's on here is pretty darn consistent, I might say. So I'm excited about actually being able to spin something that I will actually use. This was just some trial fiber that I was playing with just to try out the e-spinner. So it is actually pretty cool. I'll show you the bottom here. He's got, this is where the tension, I think it's the Scotch tension, to tension the bobbin goes. It's all inside there. See? This is the Scotch tension, and it's inside, and it runs down there, and then you tighten it with that knob. And the motor's under there, and the circuit board, and I've got controls in the front. He made it so that it goes one way, the switch goes one way for like clockwise and the other way for counterclockwise, and then I have a dial knob to go faster or slower. How many RPMs is this motor?
Motor is 1,000 RPMs, ma'am.
This motor in here is 1,000 RPMs, and I don't even have it all the way up. And he's got another motor that's 9,000 RPMs. That's just crazy talk.
But the drive rotor, the pulley makes it faster, ma'am.
The pulley makes it faster. The whirl, the size of the whirl, or the size of the pulley that he made down in there. So I'm very excited about this. He is already working on, this was kind of like the test run.
Prototype, ma'am.
The prototype. So he's already working on another one, and so we'll see. He doesn't want to sell them. He doesn't want to do them to sell, but he just wanted to do it for my use and for the challenge to see if he could do it, I guess. So there you go. There's my e-spinner. I'm so excited.
Glad you're obliged, ma'am.
Thank you. So, what's next? We talked about spinning. I haven't started the second bump, but I will be getting that started this week. Let's talk about finished objects. Like I said, Thursday at work, I thought that this week was going to be a total knitting fail. And because I didn't get anything done. I went to the craft day on Saturday, and I got a good bit of knitting done on Saturday, And then Sunday I did some more knitting, but Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday at work, hardly any knitting got done. I might have knit a couple of rows. I might have knit a couple of rows at lunch, but that was about it. So yeah, so Thursday I was like, there's no way I'm going to get my March Madness project done, let alone another sweater for Knitting for Hire and my mystery shawl. Well, I skipped my workout on Thursday. Oh, I skipped my workout on Wednesday and knit. And then I skipped my workout again on Thursday in hopes that I would be able to crank something out. And I actually was able to finish my March Madness socks. I don't even remember. I think, okay, yeah. So this sock, this is where I was last week. Right here, the green one. Okay? And I had knit a little bit on this sock either probably Saturday or Sunday, but not that much. Okay? So I had all of this to go as of Thursday afternoon. And this is where I was last week as well. So on this sock. So I knit all of that and all of this on Wednesday and Thursday, because this part from here to here was knit on Saturday or Sunday. So I got quite a bit done, a lot more than I actually expected. I mean, that is like 5 or 6 inches on one side and probably about 5 inches on the other. Almost 6 inches on one and 5 on the other. So those are my Hermione Everyday socks. And there's the pattern up close. It's just a very simple pattern. It's a pearl. It's not a random pearl, but it's just one pearl and then knit 3 and one pearl and knit 3, and then you kind of mix it up a little bit on the next row. Well, not the next row, but anyway, I got 2 socks done. I have wanted to wear these so bad because this is the Lorna's Laces Soulmate that I learned about on the Stockinette Zombies podcast. Megan, who is Just Run It, she had mentioned the Lorna's Laces Soulmate on her podcast, and she had said something about the type of fiber that's in it called Outlast that's supposed to work with your body temperature and cool your feet if your feet are hot or warm your feet if your feet are cold. So I've been very excited to get to wear these socks, but I didn't want to wear them until I was able to show them to you. So they are done. And also, even though I was stretching myself to try and finish these, I didn't want to just cast off early and shorten the cuff, because technically I was at the heel, I was on the leg of both socks as of last podcast. And sure, I could have made them short socks. I could have made the socks a little bit shorter to make sure that I finished in time. But I really like my socks a specific length. And I have socks that are shorter because I'd either get bored with the pattern, or I was in a rush to just be done with the socks, and I would cast them off early. And those socks I don't like as much. So I wanted to stay true to what I know and what I like, and make sure that I make the leg as long as it needs to be. And again, what I usually do to measure my leg is I fold it in half with the needles on it, and I knit the leg pattern until I get to the toe, and then I will add another inch or so of ribbing. Now I only added about a half an inch of ribbing on this. I could have added another 6 rows. This was about 6 rows of ribbing. But I thought that this length would be fine because it was already a little bit longer than the toe when I started the ribbing. So my March Madness socks are done. So awesome, awesome. And while we're talking about March Madness, I might as well tell you the winners. I did close the thread and I drew the numbers for the prizes. And the reason I went ahead and did this ahead of time was because you had to have a finished object in your official in the official thread in your original post. And there was 2 people that got drawn that didn't have an original a finished object in their post, and it wasn't anybody who had posted their finished object in the chatter thread, because I know, I'm trying to think who it was this morning. I was looking at the chatter thread. Somebody posted their finished object picture in the chatter thread, although it didn't come through in the chatter thread for whatever reason. I did go to her project page and saw the finished socks. Actually, it was the one with the indulgence yarn, which is the yarn that I ended up buying because I saw her yarn. She did not get chosen because I knew that her project was finished, and I was going to allow, if her name got chosen, I was going to allow her to win, because I did see that her post was not, her project was not in the official thread. But there were 2 other people that did not have finished objects that got drawn, but because they didn't have finished objects in there, they did not win. One of those people was on the chatter thread and mentioned that there was no possible way that they could finish their project. And it's just too bad that this was the opportunity for you to win. But anyway, I will go ahead and announce the winners of the prizes. The first prize is the Hill Country Sweet Feet yarn. And like I mentioned last week, this is some of my coveted yarn. I love this yarn. But I'm allowing somebody to experience the lovely goodness of this yarn. And that somebody was number 40, Knit Psycho. And I didn't look up the names, but I did save the page on my iPad so that I can show you what they knit. So Knit Psycho, and let me just quick. Her name is Manda. She used to have an audio podcast, I think, but I don't know. I think this is the one who has the audio podcast, but I don't know if she still has that. Okay, so here is her finished object. She made a little baby sweater or dress. I'm not sure if it's a sweater or a dress, but there you go. That is her finished object. This was her starting yarn, and there you go. So she wins Runaway Yarn. She wins the Hill Country Sweet Feet. And Manda, you're gonna love this yarn. I love it. I hope you love it as much as I do. Okay, the second person who will be winning the Mary Kay. And this is the Satin Hands and Body. And it's cleansing cream, cleansing gel, hydrating lotion, and buffing cream. So it's the whole kit. And that person is number 47. And that is Minnie Moo, number 99. And here is what she did. She had the Bambino yarn, and she did a shawl. So there was her yarn, and there is what she knit. So congratulations. Let me see what her name is. Catherine. So So congratulations, Catherine. You will be having some lovely hands and body with the satin hands from Mary Kay. So that is winner number 2. And winner number 3 is the Ravelry giftable pattern from Allison J, who is donating the pattern. She is a viewer of the podcast, and she has graciously donated a $10 or less pattern on Ravelry. And the winner of that is Phoenix Fire, who is Tracy. And here is Tracy's yarn. And, oops, there's her finished project. So, congratulations, Tracy. You have won a pattern from Allison J. And congratulations to everybody who finished their projects. I counted this morning early before I left the thread open to just before I started recording here, and I counted this morning, and I think there was 36 or 37 finished objects. And I was bad. I didn't post my picture of my finished object in the thread, but I do have them done, and I've had them done since Thursday night. So congratulations to everybody who took on the challenge and who finished it, or even if you didn't finish it, finish those projects. I'm going to open the thread back up so that you guys could post your finished objects, or you can just post them in the chatter thread. It was a lot of fun for me to go through everybody's stash and pick different yarns, and a lot of people told me that that yarn would still be in their stash because they couldn't figure out what they wanted to do with it. So it was really a challenge for everybody to make some decisions and pick a pattern for a specific yarn. So it was a lot of fun for me. So that was the March Madness. Okay, so let's move on to the next finished object. Yes, the next finished object. After I finished up my socks on Thursday, I think I finished them up late on Thursday, and no, I think I had a little bit of time on Thursday to knit some more. But I finished my mystery shawl too. I only had the last clue to do on the mystery shawl, and I finished it. I took out the stitch marker, but I only had the last clue was 13 rows, and I believe on Saturday last week at the craft day, I think I did maybe 4, and then I moved on to another project, and so I had more than half of it to go, and I ended up doing a couple rows on Thursday night and then finishing them up yesterday at the office. I was actually, you can't really see the pattern very well, but I actually had yesterday to actually knit for a bit, which was for a change after the last couple weeks have been so crazy. But I really like it. It's not a huge shawl. It's really a shawlette, and it's going to be perfect to wear around like a scarf. So I really love it. I love the color. This is the Wollmeise, and I put this on backwards. No, this is right. This is the Wollmeise. I think it's twin. And it was the Versace colorway. And the Versace colorway is, I think, just like a, I don't know. I don't know what that means, but anyway, it's a bright blue. It's beautiful. I love it. And I don't know if it will be big enough to wear like a shawl, like around your shoulders. Probably, yeah, it would. It would be big enough just to keep your shoulders warm if you had a tank top on or whatever. But I do like it. And I like the lace pattern. And it gave me another opportunity to work with some different lace because, like I've mentioned before, I'm trying to design my own lace shawl, but haven't really done any more on that lately. So there you go. March mystery shawl done before the end of the month. So I'm really excited about that. So my 2 March projects got done. They got started after the beginning of March and got finished before the end of March, which I'm real happy about because really this week I didn't think I was going to have any finished objects, let alone progress to show you. So that's that finished object. I have one more whip to show you, and I worked on this project when I went to the movies last week. We went to see The Hunger Games on Sunday. Oh yeah, that's what that's what I did on Sunday. I went to the Hunger Games, and I could have taken the March Madness project, but I really was nervous about taking that because sometimes I would forget where I was, and then trying to figure that out in the dark, that wasn't going to happen. So I took my Peonies Please, which is my Spinning Fates yarn, and Laurel, if you're watching, I need some more of this base. I really love this base.
Security breach eliminated.
This is the yarn and the color. This is the peonies, and this is the self-striping. And sorry, I'm trying to hold this up, and anyway. So Laurel, I need some more of this base. I haven't seen it in your shop. I don't catch the updates very often, but I love this base. I haven't had a chance to work with the other ones yet. I have a couple more Spinning Fates yarns up here, but they're not this base. And I don't know if this was just a base that she was trying out and then switched to some other brand or whatever, but I love this base. This is my Peonies Please again. And this is how much I got done at the movie theater. Look at that. All of that. In the dark, watching the movie. I was pretty impressed with myself. There was a couple of times that that I dropped a stitch, or the stitch didn't feel right, and I was able to wait for like a section of the movie that was a little bit more light than the others, and I was able to fix it. And a couple times I was a little bit nervous that I was going to have to rip it all back and it was all going to be a waste of time. But I just kept going. I kept thinking, well, you know, if I have to, I have to. But if I was able to fix it in the dark and move forward, I would get more done. So that's what I did. I just kept going forward. And then when I was in the light and I could see it, I looked at it, I checked it all out, and it's pretty darn good for being knit in the dark. So I did make a bit of progress on that one, even though that was not a high priority for me to knit on this week. So there you go. And now I will briefly give you an update on my knitting for hire. On Saturday, when I recorded last week, I had a bit of one sleeve left to do on Haven number 1. And I did finish that up at the craft day. And I started Haven number 2. Barely. I think I got six rows of the ribbing done. And the reason I started it was because I didn't want to have to seam while I was at the craft day. So I started the second one. And that one got no love all week. Until yesterday. Yesterday afternoon, after I finished the mystery shawl, I started working on this project. And I got the entire back done, and this morning I got one front done. So, amazingly enough, this is a bulky yarn, so it goes quickly. So, I don't have a marker in here because I started it after the podcast. But on Saturday, at the crafting day, I think I had about that much done. That's it. So, yeah, I finished up the back last night. In fact, I took it up to bed with me because I was determined to finish the back. And I should have brought myself some water. Anyway, I was determined to finish the back last night. And I did. I finished the back and cast it off. And this morning, while I was having my coffee and watching podcast, I cast the first front on and finished it. So I have one more front, 2 tiny little sleeves, and I'll show you the sleeves from the first one. They're down here in the bag at the bottom. And of course, I'm finding everything else that's in there. These are the 2 fronts. That's the back. And here are the sleeves. So you can see, this is the medium, and I'm currently working on the small. So this is the sleeve. So you can see that the sleeve, I think these sleeves probably took me maybe a couple hours, maybe. So I have 2 sleeves and a front to do on the second sweater. And this morning, like I said, the first front only took me a couple hours to do. So if all goes well, I will have both of these sweaters finished by the end of the weekend. Seamed up, and the collars and whatnot put on, because that's something that I have to do after they're seamed. And I haven't even started the beaded beret. But I don't think that's going to be a big project to do. I'll probably be able to get that done in a day or two as soon as I start that. So I probably am going to try and finish up these 2 sweaters and then work on the beaded beret. I should be able to have that done by the end of the week. Hopefully get it in the mail. I do still have the fornicating reindeer for your friend at the hardware store that I need to do. But that's it. So really, I got a lot more knitting done this week in Thursday, Friday, and Saturday morning than I ever expected would happen. So that's knitting. I don't have excuse me, I don't have any podcast shout outs this week because I haven't watched many podcasts. I did watch a few podcasts yesterday and a couple this morning, but I didn't watch any new podcasts. It was all podcasts that I have been watching. I do want to mention a new charity, which is Sheila D, and I think it's Sheila D 37, I want to say. She does the Knit One Heart 2 podcast with Penny Winnie. And Sheila, her friend, is doing the Boston Marathon, and he is doing it in her son's name, Zachary, who has all the health problems. So he's trying to raise money for, I think his goal is like $6,500, I want to say. Oops, there's the phone. But, so he is trying to raise money in Zachary's name for the Boston Marathon. So if you are so inclined to support yet another charity, I know that there's so many charities out there, so many worthy causes, but so many of them need your money. So if you can take the time and, donate a couple bucks. Sheila's doing some drawings for prizes for everybody who donates $5 or more. She has Vulmiza that she's giving away if you donate $25 or more. So there's lots of opportunities to win a prize if you donate, even just as little as $5. So I will try and get the link from their show notes and put it in my show notes so it's easy to get to. So that's my charity shout out for this week. The other ones still are going on. Mommy Needs Yarn is doing the Autism Speaks walk. Melissa Meliabella is doing the Susan G. Komen walk. Sarah Rainlover is doing the Avon walk. And then, as always, there's Yen for Yarn. Cast on for Yen for Yarn because she is battling ovarian cancer. All those links will still be in the show notes at the bottom. And I think that's it for this week. We have one more week before I leave for Knitopia. And then it's going to be knitting all the time for 12 days almost. 11 days. So that's all I have for you this week. Hope your knitting blooms this week, and I hope you have a great week. And I will talk to you next week. Bye.
We haven't been authorized for clearance yet, ma'am.
Oh, sorry.
Affirmative. I copy that. 10-4. We're clear, ma'am.
You think you can at least say something without talking in your regular crazy security voice? Take your glasses off or something. No?
It's against my regulations of a security officer, ma'am. Bye. I'm not allowed to laugh, ma'am.
It was like having a dummy sitting next to me. Oh, sorry.
I resemble that remark, ma'am.
You don't want to take your glasses off?
It's kind of bright in here, ma'am.
I didn't even turn around the other lights. Those lights are all supposed to be turned around this way. All right. See you next week. Bye.
Bye.